Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike at Filmboy24, and today I want to tell you about arguably the best black and white Kodak black and white film ever produced. Okay, so at least it's my favorite black and white film ever produced. That's plus X. That's right. If I could talk Kodak into ever resurrecting an old film stock, it would be plus X. We have Tri-X, which is a beautiful black and white film stock, but I'm a plus X guy. It's a lot slower speed film, a lot less grain structure. It's just it's so meaty and tasty and delicious. Well, we won't get into it, what it tastes like, because you really shouldn't be eating it. But specifically in the Super 8 realm, see, plus X was introduced sometime in the 30s, right, by Kodak. Now, in the Super 8 realm, not so much in the 30s, but this film right there was introduced, well, in 1955. 72, 76, 1955. So they introduced it in Super 8. Probably in the 60s, 65, when Super 8 really was formed. And it was continued. Plus X was not discontinued until 2010. So we've had Plus X around for a long time. The reasons behind its discontinuation are way beyond my pay scale, so I'm not sure why. I wish it wasn't discontinued, but it was. All we can do now is shoot what's left over. And that's exactly what I do. Now, I wanted to make this video just to kind of show off a little bit about this particular film stock. I pick it up whenever I can find it, and I have a little supply, not a lot. I do have a ton of 16mm 72-31, which is also a plus X negative film. This is a plus X reversal film, which means typically when you shoot it and when you send it to a lab, they give you your film back and it's a positive, so you can project it. But the 72-31, the old school 72-31, is a negative film, so you need to scan it. Well, I have a really decent supply of that, but not so much this. So I took an old roll, very much like this one. In fact, there it is right there. I've already broken the box down. See, I save a lot of my boxes and keep them flat, because one day maybe I'll wallpaper a wall. It was this actual roll right here. And this roll, particular roll, was a really good year that it was introduced. You see, I shot this, which we're going to go over in 1 second, and I found an edge code on it. And that tells me when this particular roll in my hand was manufactured. And it was a really good year. A couple of really awesome things were introduced that year. This particular roll had a plus and a plus on the edge. That tells me, according to Kodak, this roll was manufactured in 1968, along with other good things. So I popped this roll into this. Nope, not the bag. Nope, not the bag. This. It's my go-to when I just want to run and gun. It's my Canon 514 XL Super 8 movie camera. Don't you dare drop it. These are not fun to replace. And I took it to several different places over the course of about a full month. I took it out to my dad and stepmother's house on Mother's Day, and took my daughters and my wife, and we went out there and had sort of a cookout and hung out with my dad and my stepmom, and the girls all went swimming in the pool, and Dad was barbecuing, and I pulled Trusty out with Trusty film, and I filmed a little bit of it. You're going to see that in a minute. Then I didn't film the whole roll. Then myself and a friend, I met up with Travis Tobin, who is also a film fanatic like me. He's a member of this channel. He also has his own channel, The Celluloid Alchemist. You've probably seen him in my live streams, yakking away. But anyway, Travis and I met up at one of my local hotspots where I like to film or test cameras or test film, and that's the Sugar Mill Gardens in Port Orange, Florida. We met up, he took some still pictures. I shot a little bit of that right there, which was about maybe a third of the roll or so. And I ended up, the last third of the roll, took the family to the Melbourne Zoo down in, well, central South Florida. and I, well, blasted off the rest of this roll at the zoo. Little zoo. We like going to the zoo. Just a tick hot when you're hanging out outside in Florida in the heat and humidity in June. Anyway, that's how I finished off the roll. That's what I'm going to show you today. Now, there's a couple little things I had to cut out, and I will say, yes, a little bit of it is out of focus. When I'm running and gunning, and I'm got kids waiting on me, it's a little more difficult to stand, and you guys know as well as I do when it comes to focusing film cameras, you really need to take your time. Hey, there I am in the little viewfinder. Anyway, I do want to show you that film and show you exactly why I think this film is the best black and white film that was ever made. By the way, this is a 40 ISO film. Very slow speed film. Here it is. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to drink coffee and hold a camera in the same hand. You got to admit, that's talent. So that's the tonality of that film. For reference, it's 55 years old. Can you imagine something being 55 years old? That's an old film stock, and to get that kind, I know that there's a little bit of issue with it here and there. I get that. And by the way, I processed it myself. I scanned it myself. There's nothing professionally done about that particular roll of film, but I did it myself because that's what I love to do. But if you just look at the grays in that stock, and if you just look at the depth, that you get out of that film stock, I got to tell you, I don't get that with Tri-X. I really don't. Tri-X is a much faster speed film. It's a 200 speed. You introduce a lot more grain. Now you're going to get a little more grain when you process as a negative anyway, which is what I always do with my black and white films. Speaking of that, I did process this in my go-to HC110B formula, and I do this plus X, all my plus X I do for at 67-ish degrees Fahrenheit, and I process it for about 5.5 minutes. That's it. There's no remjet on this film. It's black and white. They don't use remjet on black and white film. And then I washed all that away, fixed it for about 7 minutes. That's it. I put it in some photo flow and squeegeed it off, hung it to dry, scanned it for you fine folks, and I really didn't do a lot of tweaking. That's almost a little bit of levels in contrast, a little, but that's almost straight out of the scanner. So I'm overly excited. Is that the right word? I'm overly satisfied. I'm really super content with the way that roll came out, especially knowing how old it is. I mean, 55 years old. What do you know that's 55 years old that still looks that good? I don't know. I don't know anyone. I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. If you did, I want you to do me a super duper solid right there. Hit the little thumbs up button. I ask every time, I know. It sort of helps, keep the channel rolling. We like to roll on, not roll on. Remember roll on? I almost forgot about that. The deodorant that you had the little ball on the end, you roll. I see how I stray, you see? Film, okay? Get back. If you think I've earned it, how about do that? You know what that is. You guys can all read. That's subscribe. Then you're not going to miss anything. Nothing. If you hit the little bell, there's a little bell down there next to it, and that kind of notifies you when I do post a new video. I got a found film coming out next that you guys are not going to want to miss. It's something totally different than we've ever seen on this channel. And it's really cool. All you film nuts are going to want to see this very next found film. It's going to be coming out in just a few days. I promise you. Stay tuned. And until the very next time, you're going to have another fun little adventure here. A little adventure. There it is. This is going to say it all. Whoa. I'll see all of you on the very next ridiculous go-around.